All right. What's up, dweebs? I'm here with high school friend Broderick Smith, aka White Chocolate. You can check him out on his new radio show that he has going on. How about you tell him a little bit more about it?
Hey, what's up, everybody? I am White Chocolate, also known as Broderick. I do this little radio show on this new app called Spoon that's kind of just getting started. I host a every single day between 2 and 4. I do a little show. I
Ooh,
usually
I know it's every
title
day.
it.
That's hype.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah. It's
that's
like,
hype. I'm
oh
excited.
yeah, dude. I do it 7 days a week, man. 7 days a week. Um, uh, but I call it just Weeb Talk. We discuss general anime and stuff like that. I've done episodes over like 2 hour long episodes about specific series, and then sometimes I'll do just like my
Ooh,
my favorite moments of the decade, or like things that impacted me personally, other stuff like that. Little list of
all
my own
things I
stuff.
like to talk about on here, man. Absolutely, those are things I like. Oh, that's awesome. So, is there a catalog of these that I can go back and listen to, or is it you gotta catch it
Yes,
live?
yes, there is a
Okay,
catalog. I
cool.
save every single one of them.
Awesome, awesome. And you mentioned you might be starting up a YouTube channel here soon to keep up the going your fan base.
Yes. Actually, I'm working on that right now. A couple of my fans from the app, I just grew over 1,000 followers today, actually, and
Ooh.
a couple of my fans are like drawing up little avatars for me. Someone's making a little Jolly Roger, like a flag for us all to fly under. I'm super stoked on it. It's been awesome. It's been a lot of work, but like I'm hype.
Dude, right off the bat, I just want to ask, did something like big happen in One Piece recently? Because I've been seeing so much One Piece talk the past like week. I don't
Okay,
that
so
that and My Hero Academia, like both something big happened in both of them, and I'm not caught up.
Okay. Well, so first off, since you, much like me, watched the dub of things, if you're watching the dub of My Hero, something crazy happened last week, but the thing everybody's panicking about, we're an episode behind now because of a delay. So
Oh,
we don't
okay,
have
okay.
the episode everyone's talking about. We get
All
that
right.
Saturday. So Saturday, I highly recommend you catching up because there's 3 episodes that are just going to leave you with your jaw on the floor the entire time. Like, it has been bonkers, dude. And
Okay,
then
okay.
One
I fell
Piece.
I took a break right at uh just because I've been watching so many series lately. I took a break right whenever Deku like met the girl, the girl the with the horn and shit.
Oh, right after he meets Eri for the first time?
Yeah, that I mean I got like 10 episodes to catch up on, but
Yeah.
like it'll be a good binge. It'll be a good binge.
Yeah, I mean, I think this next episode probably ends this first arc of this season because every season does like two, usually 12 or 13 episodes 13 episode arcs when it comes to My Hero. They have the
Right.
training at the beginning of season 3, and then it goes into the saving Bakugo for the second half. They always just like that.
It's a good cycle.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. It's wonderful. They do it very well. Like, one of the reason why, and like I've been talking about My Hero a lot lately, is like this is the first time as somebody who's been watching anime since I was probably 5 or 6, like starting all the way back with Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and original Dragon Ball, and just following that all the way up to where I am now. This is the first time people of like our age group have ever got to witness the birth of a true classic, right? Like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, like One Piece, these all started when we were like not even old enough to
Yeah,
develop it.
we weren't
And
the
we weren't
hardcore
even, yeah,
fans at those age. Like we could
yeah,
have like I mean, I wasn't like I wasn't a weeb then, but like I wasn't you weren't able as a 9-year-old to be like the way that we are impacted by shows now. We aren't, we're way more hardcore
yeah,
core fans now.
exactly. And then like on top of that, you got to think Dragon Ball started in '86. When I was
Yeah.
watching, it was like 2000 or 2001. Like at that point, Dragon Ball was old as dirt. I didn't even know, like it was
Like you had
already
to
old.
like give yourself that you had to like give yourself that like uh distance. You have to like separate like okay, it's old. I'm gonna like ignore those certain qualities because I need to catch up.
And then when it comes to like One Piece, which is by far my favorite long running shonen for a more reasons than I can even count. But like in fun facts, I know you're a huge Naruto fan. Did you know Sanji's original name was Naruto? But Oda got word of Masashi Kishimoto starting a new manga series titled Naruto. So in order to not like step on
No way.
that, he changed Sanji's name to
Wow.
Sanji. Changed it from Naruto.
I
In
have watched a video on like all the like odes to each other that they've done in the past.
there,
You know, with
yeah,
like the graffiti on the Hokage statues. You know
yeah,
what I'm talking about? Yeah.
and then
There's
the little the little cover of him and Naruto eating ramen together whenever Naruto dropped its final chapter. It was like his way of saying, and it said like thank you on it. Uh, his way of thanking
yeah.
Sashi Kishimoto. I love them. They're really good friends, and so are Akira Toriyama and Oda. There's an entire manga series called
Oh,
Cross Epoch, and it is a Dragon Ball Z One Piece crossover. Like they have
what?
combination moves and everything, bro. Yeah, like Oda and
What?
Akira Toriyama are good friends.
Dude, okay, if they're that good of friends, you know what would be real cool? I guess we already know all the universes now. If the One Piece universe was just another universe that they like could have had brought fighters from and everything, that would have been insane.
I think it's episode 647 of One Piece is a crossover episode starring Toriko and Dragon Ball Z where there is a battle royale for the world's most delicious piece of meat.
I've seen that episode. Yeah,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
that's.
Uh,
I'm all right. So before we get too far ahead, you mentioned where you started, but I want to know like in depth, like as a kid, where did you start with anime?
Okay, so as a kid, I'm almost 110% positive the first anime I ever saw was Pokemon, right? I think that's where most of us started. However, at that age, I didn't realize it was anime. For me, it was a Saturday morning cartoon. It came on Channel 11, right? Same with Yu-Gi-Oh! Then
Exactly.
my grandparents, who happened to live right next door to me, they had cable. I didn't. I remember going over there one day because my best friend had told me about Dragon Ball. And he was like, it comes on Fridays at 5 o'clock. Just go over to your grandpa's and watch it. And I remember going over and watching it was the second or third episode of Dragon Ball. Original Dragon Ball was airing on Toonami at that
Oh,
point.
not even Z. You
No,
got to see
no. Oh,
original.
no. I started with the original. I did not like. I had no concept of Z at this point. It was just the original for me,
That's
which
great.
like is far and beyond my favorite version of all of the Dragon
Oh,
Balls.
it's a different
It's a
like
completely
lane of
different.
anime. It's
It's
an
a
adventure anime, which One Piece, you know, you like that type of shonen apparently.
yes. Not just that is like also one thing I love about Dragon Ball, okay, and one thing, and this did stick with me as a kid. This is the first time anime impacted me in my life, and it was Dragon Ball. I remember growing up, and you see, Dragon Ball the original is just a play on Journey to the West, right? Which is an old like Chinese folktale, right?
Right.
Goku is the Monkey King from this folktale, basically. That's who Son Goku is. Well, the story goes the same as Dragon Ball does. Bulma is very, very selfish. Why does she want the 7 Dragon Balls? To wish for the perfect boyfriend, and she will do anything to get that boyfriend. Right? Like she's very
Such a
selfish.
goofy concept,
And
yeah.
if you pay attention in the original Dragon Ball series, any single time Bulma has an idea or a plan or is trying to get what she wants, they fail. Every single time. The only time the plot ever progresses in original Dragon Ball is when Goku goes out of his way to do something good selflessly for another person. That is the only time the story
Yeah,
progresses.
it's a good observation. Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's the whole point of the story of Journey to the West. That's how the folktale go. It's a story about being selfless, about giving without wanting anything in return, about just being good to be good. That stuck with me. When I was a kid, I wanted to help everybody I ever saw who was in trouble because that is what Goku would do.
Hell yeah.
110%. I curled up on
What
my
age do you think you were?
I was I was in first grade, so I was 6. I was 6 years old, between 6 and 7.
Damn.
Yes,
Yeah, that
between
would be
6 and 7 years old.
such a powerful like yeah, because that was always the thing. Like Bulma didn't want to be slowed down by with whatever like nonsense Goku was getting into, but like, and he wasn't even trying to find shit. He'd just be
Nope.
walking around like the city, and
Yeah,
it.
like the very first time they get a Dragon Ball, other than the one that Goku already has and Bulma has herself, is whenever they might meet Master Roshi's turtle, right? He's like, I'm like 100 miles away from the ocean and I can't get back. And Bulma's like, that sucks. Let's peace out. We got to go find a Dragon Ball. And Goku's like, Mr. Turtle, I'll carry you back to the ocean. Throws him on his back and backpacks him all the way to the ocean. When they get to the ocean, Master Roshi shows up, and what does he do to thank them? He gives them a Dragon Ball. That is how the entire original Dragon Ball story progresses. And I love that. That deep thematic root that Akira Toriyama kept throughout all of it. Not to mention, if it wasn't for, like, Kid Goku's always been my favorite version of Goku. He is
Right.
the basis of
He's
all of
way
our
more.
favorite. He's the basis of
Yeah.
our favorite anime characters. Naruto, Luffy. They are all literally, you can, Masashi Kishimoto, Achiro Oda. They've all written it out multiple times. They are all just plays
Their
on
own
the original Kid
iteration.
Goku.
Yeah.
Yes, their own iteration of Kid Goku. Dragon Ball changed the landscape of anime forever, and I will always love and respect it for that.
Yeah, it definitely it owns that. A lot of people don't give it its credit because of the direction it's been going recently.
Mhm.
It's been frowned upon and viewed as even some of my guests I've talked about, they're just like, it's just so, kiddish. It's such a kid friendly plot and there's no more blood anymore. But like, I don't know, the impending doom of the universe as being erased was pretty intense for a while, especially at the end. But I don't know.
So
It's
I think where most people come in with their issue with Super now is a lot of people don't even realize that Akira Toriyama doesn't write it anymore. Okay, so a long time ago there was a spoof series called Dragon Ball AF after Dragon Ball Z was gone for a long time. That had all these wild, crazy power ups: Super Saiyan 5, Super Saiyan XXJSS7
right.
swastika. I don't know. Okay, like the point is like they were all these ridiculous transformations. Okay, and that person who illustrated these comics and wrote them is now he's the one doing it. Like Akira Toriyama took him under his wing, and like Akira Toriyama still plays a part. He makes a few decisions here and there, but for the most part, that is the dude who is
Ugh.
doing all of this. So a lot of people don't
It's
realize that.
getting the
And
Star Wars treatment.
yes,
It's getting the Game
exactly.
of Thrones treatment.
Like
It's got.
I think Akira Toriyama might just be done with it. But then again, he just did the Broly movie, and the Broly movie was incredible. It was absolutely amazing.
Do you have any discrepancies within it, or do you 100% love it?
No, I really don't have any discrepancies. The animation is, oh my god, top tier. And actually, that's one of the reasons why One Piece is getting so much buzz lately. The person who did the animation for the Broly movie is doing the animation for the most recent One Piece arc, which is why the most recent One Piece arc looks
Oh.
better than almost anything on TV right now. It's insane. Um, uh, but I like how they handled Broly. Like, I've always liked Broly, but I never thought that, like, Broly was always like an awesome bad guy, but he was never a good character. Not once.
Right.
Not
No
ever in the
depth.
slightest.
But
None whatsoever.
but okay, so my discrepancies, two main ones. The animation was only utilized for certain fight scenes, and that left me feeling like I was watching video game cutscenes. When it went to 3D animation and it was like actually not drawn anymore, it was also, I mean, when they incorporate the CGI in it, like Demon Slayer does it right. Demon Slayer, like the way they do like the background and like the snow or anything, like the blood, like there's certain elements they highlight with it, and I think that is more appealing to me rather than, I don't know. It's just we have so many Dragon Ball games and everything. It's just it felt like just a really nice looking Dragon Ball game for a second, which is cool in its own right. But I just, whenever I'm watching Dragon Ball, especially in that setting, I didn't want. I felt cheated in that sense. But that's just my own discrepancy on that one. The other one was, I felt like they just wanted to bring Broly into the universe for plot armor.
What do you mean?
Okay, now we got this guy that is on this planet nearby that we could always go to for help, or could always come in and save the day at any point.
So I don't think that's why, because I think that even at the end of the day, Goku will always be more powerful than Broly. I believe that that's what they're working towards in the manga right now. Like, Goku's on his way to becoming like an angel or something. Like, there's some wild stuff going on. I haven't been
Right.
keeping up with the manga, but the
I'm
point
like
is,
3 episodes behind on the manga. I
I
feel you.
I think that the reason why Akira Toriyama did that was, I think that was just his love letter to the fans. The one thing the fans always wanted for years and years and years was
Was the
Broly to
Broly
be
story?
what was him to be canon, because he was never canon.
Right.
Akira Toriyama like did the design for the original Broly somewhat, but like he didn't write that movie. Like Broly was never
Right.
canon, but has been one of the most beloved Dragon Ball characters since his
And
debut.
he's like,
And
all
I
right,
I
we'll
think
we'll
this is
utilize him.
this is Akira's like love letter, and that's why they didn't make him like an all-out bad guy or an all-out good guy. And I don't think that it would be the type of thing that Goku would call on him for help. I think this is more of like this is showing Goku aging. Like Goku sees him and sees that he has like the mind of basically a child, and Goku doesn't want him to be hurt or him to be used. And I think Goku will take on as a more of a mentor or more of a father figure role. And
Ooh, that's interesting.
Goku gets a lot of flack for being the world's worst dad, but if you think about it, he kind of raised Gohan for full 4 entire years instead of training, or 5 entire years. And then the second somebody showed up, they kidnapped his son and he had to die in order to save him.
Yeah,
Like,
everyone is always like,
from that
yeah,
point on, like, what else do you do but make sure that can never happen again?
right,
Like,
right,
wouldn't that
right.
terrify you as a parent? Like, you
Yeah,
think you're the
you gotta
strongest
think
being on the
how
planet?
fatherly or just like, like a positive male role model he is to any of the like Kaba or just any of the
Yeah.
other people they encounter, or Kefla.
Or even then, like, what is he teaching his children? That the fate of the universe is unfortunately a little more important than him being there to like teach them math. Like what?
Right.
Like he's got his priorities straight. Like we're talking realistically, like because
Right,
nobody
right.
else would be able to save the planet if not for him. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword in that argument. Anyway, I
Do
digress.
you think that in some way, Broly and Broly Girl from parallel universe is going to ever fight or meet each other? I feel
I think Dragon Ball Heroes is like just waiting for everybody to like be
all the
pining
stars
for
to
something.
line up.
Yeah, they're waiting for it. Like I think they're like waiting for everyone to be like, "There's nothing else that this series can do." Because Dragon Ball Heroes is just absolute. Heroes is bonkers. Like it's just out there. It's just
Yeah.
crazy. And like they're just waiting for them. Like, well, there's nothing else that they can do. And then they're gonna bring Super Broly and probably like the entire the Kefla fusion, probably
Right.
the whole fusion and Broly, and throw that into a battle, and that would be awesome. And then for some odd reason, Goten will show up, and he's a legendary Super Saiyan too, because it's Dragon Ball Heroes and no one cares. But like, it's just dumb fun, and that's what I love about it. Like I'm there if they're just like, hey, let's just make off the wall crazy action scenes that are 7 minutes long, and you just go on about your day. I'm cool with that any day of the week.
Dude. Oh, go ahead.
So 2019, there's a lot of shows that came out last year that I was a huge, huge, huge fan of. Was there anything that came out last year that you were big into?
Dr. Motherfucking Stone.
Boy, oh,
Fuck around, dude. Dr.
it's
Stone.
so good.
It's so non-typical, yet familiar because of the art style and the character stereotypes. Yet the characters still surprise you and catch you off guard because it is not a typical show format. But having a Jimmy Neutron brain blast moment is so captivating and keeps you on edge like a JoJo's battle. It's insane.
Dude, 110%. It is literally Bill Nye the anime, and I am like so down for it. Like I
Right.
am so down for it. Like they turned Bill Nye into a shonen anime because like it teaches you so much. It's like, hey, this is all real life science. This is how you make gunpowder. Don't make gunpowder. Like I
It's so,
absolutely love it.
dude. And my wife is in school for engineering, and she takes physics and calculus too and shit, and like she'll pause it whenever the formulas and shit come up in the background, and she'll be like, oh, that's this and this and this sub function in this sequence, and I'm like, it's really cool, and everything, but I really want to watch the show. It's dope though that they use such real world. I mean, everything in that show is just it's real,
Yeah.
and it's it combines a survive. I don't know if there's many other survival type animes, but it's like a survival anime, and then you got science like Jimmy Neutron, Bill Nye aspect, and then you have
Like actual
the
education, like legitimate education thrown in on that.
yeah.
Like it's
And
wild.
and and the storyline just proves to be more and more and more deeper than we thought, and you're like, his dad did the.
Yeah. His dad's my favorite character. Like his dad's my favorite character, and he's dead from episode 1. And his dad's like my favorite character in the whole series. Oh
My
my
favorite
god.
character never existed
Yeah.
during the show.
Yeah, like he's been dead since 30 seconds into the first episode, and like he's my favorite character. I love Byakuya.
You
That
know,
was
it's funny because when watching it in the beginning, you think you're like, why aren't they really talking about his family that much? And they're like, oh, that's later. Gotcha.
yeah, I thought it was odd that they didn't focus on that at all, because like that's almost how all typical anime start, usually in some weird
Right,
family
but
setting.
there's nothing.
Hmm.
There are things typical, but there's not. I mean, that show really likes to misdirect you.
So you finished Hunter x Hunter, didn't you?
Oh, I was waiting to talk to you about this, sir. Good, sir. All right. All right. So it's your favorite, right? Or is One Piece your favorite?
Okay, listen. So here's how I explain this repeatedly all the time, and this is a hill this is a hill I am willing to die on 110%.
I love that saying. I use that saying.
One Piece is my favorite shonen, hands down, no question, by a long shot. However, I am not so dense or naive enough to not recognize that Hunter x Hunter is objectively just the best shonen. Like it just like from a story.
Big words.
Listen. I've done my research. I've seen over 250 anime series at this point. Like I stopped tracking on my anime list at that point. I know them through and through. I love them all so deeply. But the amount of love that Togashi put into the world and characters of Hunter x Hunter has never, ever, ever even come close to being touched in shonen anime. Just in general. Like from the start. Okay, think of
Dude.
think of Gon and Killua. First off, greatest anime duo ever. Those two together, they're perfect. They're literally perfect. Yes, there's no one that even comes close when it comes to anime duos.
You know what? They are great. And I never cringed at their banter or anything like that. It's always just heart touching. Like, good point. Good point.
And it's also like it's adorable because like they're both kids. And like you can see that. Like despite the fact that like their innocence.
Like when they're in the battle tower thing and they like got all the candy and everything, like those little episodes.
Those
so great.
Cool moments.
So great.
And then Killua, okay, who is probably the best character in the series. Like,
I mean, he should have been the main character for sure.
Well, see, no, but I like his role though, because like my favorite thing about Killua, and this is what really makes you understand and what makes him so deep, is that like Gon has this mission throughout the entire series. He wants to go find his dad, but he doesn't want to find his dad because he wants a dad. And that's what I like about Gon. He wants to know, why was being a hunter more important than raising me? He doesn't care if his dad wants anything to do with him or not. He doesn't care if he sees his dad once and then never sees him again after that. He wants to be a hunter, and he wants to meet his dad just to figure out if it is really that cool, if it's that amazing, if it is more important than raising a child that you're supposed to love. Like that is Gon's mission. And Killua's mission is quite simply to stand next to Gon. That's all he wants and nothing more, because throughout his entire life he was told he couldn't have friends. He couldn't trust anybody. He's an assassin. He's not meant to love. He's meant to kill, and kill only.
True that.
And he realizes when Gon shows up at his house, broken arm and all, getting beat relentlessly by their butler maid lady at the gate, just smacking him over the head every time he approaches. Every single time. Gon does not stop. He does not even stutter. He goes through and through because he loves Killua, plain and simple. Like, that's his friend. And that's when Killua finally realizes that, like, I can have friends. And, like, I don't care what my family says. They're not going to betray me, and I'm not going to betray them. And he keeps that fear with him throughout the series. He's always worried he'll abandon Gon. always worried because of what Illumi and his father put in his head. But then there's the moments where like Gon would have never survived that journey without Killua. Like Killua is the alpha in this situation.
Yeah.
Like he's much smarter and well versed in the world, much more smarter and more well versed in the world than Gon is.
But the person with the goal has to be the main protagonist rather than the. I get you. I get how you're explaining it.
And Killua is a deeper character because he's a supporting character, because that says more about who he is and who he wants.
He himself is just like literally a supporting character.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it's the in the literal sense.
And then when it comes to antagonists, oh my God, Hunter.
Okay, Hisoka's
the most. He's crazy interesting, especially like when you go further.
Him
in the
at the
manga.
very end, his fight at the very end. Okay, that was one of the coolest parts like of the whole series. That was
also Gon versus
all the blood.
Gon versus Hisoka.
Yes.
That scene is like it's like almost a meme how good the animation in Hunter x Hunter is. Like people always question, they're like, who funded this anime? Like why does every fight scene have the budget of an anime movie? Because like Netero versus Meruem is one of the most
that one is the most hype. That one is the most hype of the whole series. That one wins, right?
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt, that's the most hype fight in the whole series.
I was like, is it over now? And I was like, there's still 30 episodes.
Yeah. Oh no, and that's
I have a big complaint about the last fucking 10 of them, but.
Oh well, see, I love those last 10 for a very specific reason, because that's when Killua finally becomes his own protagonist. Like that's when Killua becomes the focal point of his own world, because up until that point, his world was to live for Gon, was to support Gon and make sure Gon got to follow his dreams. He thought that there was nothing he wanted because of that, and they do a bad job at explaining this in the anime, but that thing that Illumi embedded into his head was to make him forget his sister, and to keep that fear that he would betray Gon in there. That's why. And another thing that they don't really explain too well in the anime is that his sister is not his sister, it's his brother. However,
I was so fucking confused.
Yeah, so Alika is a boy, but prefers to be called a woman, like wants to be a girl. Everyone else in the family refuses to acknowledge that fact except for Killua.
Is that one of the reasons they keep him like hidden? Like,
well, that,
or is it just the power?
The power, because she's not really related to them, right? She's from the same place the Chimera ants are. The Dark Continent. Right. That little thing you get teased about at the end, which is where the manga is currently. They're heading towards the Dark Continent in the manga. But she's from the Dark Continent as well. So, like, she's just a whole mystery. The whole Dark Continent is a mystery.
All right. Yeah, I haven't read the manga, and I just wish it would get animated. That and Bleach are the two I need to be finished, man. I need to know.
Okay. And like I really hope that if they animate the rest of Bleach, they do that. They do the ending justice. Things need to be changed about that show if they are going to finish animating it. 110%. Bleach was my favorite anime for a very, very long time.
Ooh, but okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. Back to Hunter x Hunter real quick.
Okay, yeah, back to Hunter x Hunter. So, where everyone starts and where everybody ends, okay, in that series, the arcs, the worlds that they go through. So, the Greed Island arc, Togashi put so much love and care into that arc. That short, like,
that could be an anime within itself. It could be one of them one-season animes. It's an isekai.
Yeah, you can go buy all 101 Greed Island cards and play the Greed Island game. Like, it's a whole working game that has rules and a system. For those 25 episodes, that is how deep Togashi went into it. For those 25 episodes, he invented an entire card game, illustrated every single card, and made all the rule sets. So if his fans wanted to, they could buy them and play it together. Like, that is how deep he goes into it. Like, he is so in love and enthralled with this world. And then, like, the dichotomy between Meruem and Gon, how they start the Chimera Ant arc and how they end, they go through the exact same things. They experience the exact same situations and take the opposite things from them throughout the entire arc. Like, starting from the moment that Gon enters the NGL, right? when Gon first has to fight a Chimera Ant, and he uses first time we ever see him use scissors, he cuts him in half. Yeah, when he's with Kite, and he cuts that thing in half, and then the thing comes up and almost kills him, and then he kills it, and Kite's like, you have to crush the head. The first time Meruem ever sees a human, what does he do? He obliterates its head on sight and then eats it. And what does Pito tell him? Destroy the body, save the head.
Yeah.
The best part.
Yeah.
It's the best part. And that's just where it starts.
It's just a play on yin and yang, you know.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. And it just shows, and a lot of people have a gripe with, the biggest gripe I ever hear about the Chimera Ant arc is the narrator. However,
I like the narrator.
Yeah, the narrator is 110% necessary for that arc. Well, a lot of people, it's because he's not there for anywhere else in the series. He just pops up for the Chimera Ant arc. And Togashi did that because as human beings, we experience a thousand things every single day, right? And like when something crazy, like big happens and like it impacts us, we never notice in that moment, right? It always takes time to notice how something has changed you, right?
Right.
However, the narrator multiple times in there explains, you know, like as this happened, a change happened inside of Shoot, you know, when he's fighting flying on his hand, and he's like just going all out against Yuppie, and it's like at this moment he realized that like at this moment he changed. He realized that he would either stand and fight or die, and at this moment he learned that this was his ultimate technique. You know, you never realize those things in the moment, and that's why the narrator has to do it, and the character can't just think it, because like you never notice the things that change you until after you've been changed. So the only way to get that across in the moment is the narrator, which is why I think the narrator plays.
It just adds another way to exhibit like the depth of what's happening. You know, really to make sure like no, it's deep though. Like you have to like take a second.
And then think about when Netero splits off with Meruem, and Gon finally enters the room that Pito's in, which is one of my favorite episodes in the whole series. When Gon flips out, when he is screaming and he's like, why? Like, why should I stop? Why shouldn't I just kill you right now? Like he's
being savage. Just, ooh, and you're like, he's scary.
All the light in his eyes is gone. Like Killua is scared of him at this point. Like Killua is like wholeheartedly like freaked out by Gon and the way he's acting. But what happens when Netero and Meruem sit down? Netero's ready to rumble, and Meruem's like, nah, like we can talk this out. We can figure this out. Like there's no need. But Netero knows that he has to, because like something that powerful that has any form of genocidal thoughts can't exist. Plain and simple. No. It just can't. But I love
that fight. You just got me thinking about that fight so much right now. Oh, I love that fight.
I do too. And then whenever it comes down to it, like in the end, Netero knew he stood no chance against Meruem. He had that backup plan. But then you cut to Pito and Gon, where Gon should have no chance against Pito. But at this point, you realize how far Gon has gone. When they're in that room, and she's like, "I can't save him. Like he's dead." And you see Gon, he's like, stop lying. Like, you're lying. And you can see it in his eyes. You're like, oh, no, like, he's officially gone crazy. Like, he's broken at this point.
Right, because, I mean, he has enough, you know, he's not Goku. He has enough sense to know, like, you know.
But at that point, and this is what I love about the Nin system. This is why the Nin system is my favorite power system in any anime of all time.
It lacks structure? Sorry.
Wait, it doesn't lack structure at all. I don't know how much attention you paid, but it's actually, you can't poke holes in it, and that's the best thing about it. There's no
the way it just can manifest itself can vary so much that it really doesn't make...
Well, no, it manifests, you have to... It's stated whenever they learn it for the first time that your Nin manifests by being activated, by being hit by somebody else who uses Nin. That is the only way your Nin will manifest.
I get that.
Someone else. And then your Nin ability you decide on your own, and it all has to do with the sacrifices and rules and limitations you are willing to put on yourself.
Right, but like a little slot machine floaty thing or a power sucker thing, they don't make sense because they can be anything.
But that's what that person because think about it. She's a phantom troop. She's a thief. Doesn't it make most sense that she would manifest an ability that can clean up things and pick up whatever she wants in the blink of an eye? That makes sense. That's the most logical weapon
Okay,
for her.
so why does Kite have a slot machine?
Well,
Why wouldn't he just have the one weapon?
Well, because he made it because it's more powerful. Because it is a stricter limitation and because it bounces off of chance, it makes it a more powerful Min ability. Why is Kurapika's chain so powerful? Because if he uses them on anyone that is not a Phantom Troop member, he dies. Period. Because he set that limitation, it makes it that powerful. And because Kite set that strict limitation, that's what saved him. That is why he was able to be reincarnated, and that is why he is alive as Meruem's twin sister at the end.
Right. Okay, so one other thing. My other biggest discrepancy. We didn't get enough context of Gon and Kite together for Kite to have meant what he meant to Gon. I feel like I've talked to a few people about this, and we feel like
1990s version.
The 90s version,
is there more
context?
The 90s version opens up. Kite met Gon when Gon was a child and saved his
Right.
life.
Right.
Okay, that is how the original 90s anime opens. That's the first like 2 episodes. Is like Gon's in the woods, he gets attacked by this bear, even though it's his fault because he's messing with like the bear's nest or whatever, and that's where her babies are, and he doesn't know because he's a child. And the bear tries to kill him, so then Kite kills the bear, but then Kite turns around and punches Gon, and he's like, "You made me kill this innocent creature because you were messing around." You know, all of that good jazz.
Right.
And that is what kind of sets a spark off in Gon and makes him kind of realize how precious life is. Okay, that's what makes him the beautiful boy we meet at the beginning of the series at age 12. And then on top of that, Kite is the only connection Gon's ever had to his father, right? So in the manga, their time together is more explored, and even like in their time in the NGL is further more explored, and he gives Gon more guidance. And then another thing, it's not just that how much Kite means to him, it's that Kite told him that he would slow him down and get in the way, and Gon and Killua didn't listen, and now Kite's dead. And
so
Gon live with he doesn't
guilt.
He feels so bad, especially since one day he's gonna have to meet his dad and be like, "Hey, your protege, the person you treated as more of a son than me, yeah, he's dead and it's my fault." That is a situation Gon didn't want to be in. And that is why he felt like, and I love the fight between Gon and Pito because
that's kind of the reason for the whole last 10 episodes. I just hate the re-voting thing. Like 3 episodes of like voting, and it just doesn't make.
I can explain that too, because
because you're making sense of a lot more of other things.
Yes, I can explain that too. So what I love about whenever the Gon and Pito fight happens, okay, that's why Gon becomes so massively powerful. He gives up everything, his whole being, his ability to use Nin, to gain all the power he would develop if he kept improving at the rate that he was for like the next 15 years. Okay, just full-blown adult. If he had kept training at the rate he was, that is how powerful he would have been. Okay, so he risked everything, but at that point, like, it is not a fight between Gon and Pito. It is a brutalization. It's like, it's almost hard to watch, right? Because like Pito goes to attack him, and in one kick, he snaps her spine in half, sends her all the way up into the air. Like, she's done after the first kick. And on her way down, he hits her with that first Jaja kick, right? And like, she's dead. He obliterates her entire skull. Dude, just blows it up. And it's like that show's so brutal. Like, it looks like a kid show, but every like 4 or 5 episodes, Hunter's like, "Hey, by the way, this is not a kid show."
Yep. Limbs cut off, dismemberment.
It lures you in all the way until Killua rips that first heart out, and then it's like, yeah, just get used to that from this point on out. But like, Gon absolutely brutalizes her, and then by the time Killua makes it there, like all said and done, basically. And then when, of course, Pito's dying life force causes her body to lift up and yank Gon's arm off, like that he felt like that was the like the ultimate point of him becoming even with Kite. He's like, that's why he looks back at Killua and he's crying like, it's okay, because now I'm just like Kite. Because Kite got his arm ripped off because of Gon by
Right.
Pito. So he thinks like we're even now, like it's fair, it's fine. I can live like my life like this because Kite was willing to. Like that, like he
That's why he
feels
didn't
so,
die, you think? Because he had the resolve?
So the reason why, yeah, well, I think Gon was basically in a vegetative state. He was being kept alive by machines. That's why
Right.
he didn't die, because he happened to make it to a hospital soon enough to where machines
Uh,
could pump his heart and keep
yes,
him
but before that, his resolve is what made him
that
not berserk continuously and could do anything else.
yes.
Literally grind her to a pulp is the only thing he had left, but he would have done it if he had not, felt that, had that moment of that release.
Although,
Like cutting off
yeah,
his arm was the best thing that could have
although
happened to
he
Gon.
does kind of turn around and shove that arm straight through her dead body, but
But like as a
yeah,
final,
yeah, yeah,
hey,
exactly.
he deserved it, bitch.
But so then it comes the election arc. Okay, now
Yeah.
the
Hey,
election
make
arc.
sense of it. I
Yes,
can't make sense of
I
it.
can make sense of it for you. So it is
Please.
important for two reasons. One, this is the arc where Killua becomes the protagonist of his own story, which is very, very important to him because he's never cared or wanted anything before for himself. All he's wanted until this moment is to stay by Gon. I mean, now he wants to save Gon, but he does want to save Gon for him, and that's not it. That's not all he wants. He wants to save Gon, and he wants to spend the rest of his life protecting Aluka. That's what he wants. He has a goal. He has something he wants. And it's not something that he didn't want before. It's something that Illumi made sure he didn't remember. Right? That's that weird thing that was in his head. Yes. So, the second thing is it introduced us to powers that be that aren't important for this arc per se. This is all leading towards the Dark Continent arc. What's coming up next, okay? Which is why it kind of feels like, why did that happen? Because there's no payoff because the last episode is just Gon and his dad, right? Yes. So the reason for this is, one, to show you who Periston, Cheadle, and Jean are as people. Because this is very, very,
To
very
make their okay, because it felt like it was giving you a little bit of context on
yes.
all those people at that table. Yeah.
Yes. So it's very important, okay? Because what you understand by
They were
Paris,
made to be like the Sonning almost. That's how they were alluded.
almost, except for I mean, yeah. That's almost a really accurate way to put it. Because at the end of that arc, I want you to know, because Periston's going to be is a big player in these upcoming Dark Continent arcs, okay? I want you to know something about Periston. What do we learn by Periston by the end of those 10 episodes? He wants to watch the world burn. He's basically the Joker. He has no motive. It's pure chaos for him. He enjoys it. He revels in it, okay? That's what you learn by him. He didn't care whether he won or lost the entire time, even though he pretended like he really wanted to win, but in the end was really willing to give it up to Leorio because he doesn't care. He's just trying to cause problems. He just wants everybody on the edge of their seat and wondering what he's doing at all point in times, even if he's not doing anything, because he's a lunatic. We learned
just the pure chaos hungry antagonist. Yeah.
And we learned that he has a rival in the Hunter Association.
Right.
In the form of Jean. Jean the Boar, okay? Because Jean, one, is very, very, very clever. Oh, he's just like Periston.
Oh, I loved that was the only thing that made the election thing somewhat, because him just having that I actually got you moment at the end. I was like, oh shit, okay. Okay. I was wondering why this was happening.
Because they sent Netero to fight Meruem, but you have to remember, Jean is considered to be the most powerful Nin user of all the hunters.
And we don't even get to see it, really.
No, but I think that this is all explained because, and this, they don't exactly explain this either. Gon doesn't have his Nin anymore. It's gone.
Oh.
At the end of the series, it's gone. That is something he had to give up for what he did. Okay.
And the series continues with Gon not having Nen.
So In the current arc, it's Gon's and Killua have taken a back seat in the current arc. This current arc is all about Kurapika.
Oh, okay. So that's why there's that different version of Karapika in Jump Force, correct?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't know this dude.
And oh god, Kurapika versus Uvogin is one of the most savage fights in anime history, okay? Because think about it. One, Uvogin, what you watch him do before Kurapika fights him. Old boy gets paralyzed from the neck down. From the neck down. Bites one dude's skull clean in half. Chews it up. Swallows it. Spits, regurgitates and spits a piece of that skull with so much force it shoots straight through somebody else's throat. Like, he murders like 6 people while paralyzed from the neck down. And what does Kurapika bring to the fight with Uvogin? A shovel to bury him when he's done. Like, what kind of savage?
Biggest flex in anime.
Savage?
Oh
Boy brought a
shit.
shovel.
Oh my
Dude,
god.
the person who is known to be
That's some like open mic.
Yeah,
It's like a it's
the
like a rap
physically
battle type.
strongest member of the Phantom Troop. Oh boy brought a shovel to the fight.
Yo, you know what that is? You know what that is? That's Yo Mama final round.
Yeah, dude.
You remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You got to take something from dude's house and like bring it and be like, and this, like the shovel to bury you. God.
Like, and that fight scene's just so hard because Kurapika's like, when he has him chained up and he's just like, tell me what I want to know, and he's like, no, and Kurapika like rolls his eyes and like shatters another one of his ribs. He's like throwing blood up all over him, and Kurapika's like, I hate this. He's like, the sounds of bones breaking, the blood you're spitting up on me, he's like, it makes me sick. Let's just talk. Like, let's get this over with. Like, he doesn't even want to do it, but like, he'll stomp a fool if he has to. Like, he doesn't care.
Kurapika's like the
Kurapika's
most
hard.
goal-driven, determined side character. He has his. It's never. You know, a lot of side characters have goals and line up with the main characters, and his main point is that his goals don't line up with the main characters.
Well, and that's one of the best thing about the cast of Hunter x Hunter. One of the things they did when they like, what I love about it is it doesn't subvert all of the shonen tropes. Some of them still exist, but they subvert a large majority of them. Gon is literally almost never the strongest person in the room, and he only wins about 45% of his fights,
if not less. Most of them end in let's be friends.
Yeah. Or he has to go like to some crazy lengths to win it. Like, I'll give him that. Gon is ballsy. Like, when he blows his own arm off just to get the upper hand on old boy in Green Island, like, that's savage. Like, that's hard. Like that's some hard shit, bro. But like, he's very rarely the strongest person in the room. And then when it comes to you meet our main shonen cast at the beginning during the Hunter exam arc, and you're like, okay, well, here's our cast for the show. But then the second that arc ends, it's like, no, like, these are all individual human beings that have individual goals. Like, Leorio can't spend 3 years helping Gon find his dad and become a doctor at the same time. Life doesn't work that way. So Leorio has to go be a doctor, and Kurapika has to go and
Killua has his own thing, and then it's so cool. It's like, so cool that you know what you're talking to you. I was right. It's shining a brighter light on it. I left the series with a few complaints at the end, but you kind of shown a different perspective on him. I appreciate that.
I've studied this show so hardcore because like it all started like I love Yu Yu Hakusho, okay, which is Togashi's first. It's his first show, and I think Yu Yu Hakusho is probably the best '90s shonen. Like in form of story and like the way it has.
It's the reason Bleach. Yu Yu Hakusho walked so Bleach could run. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly, and also not to mention like Kurapika and Hiei, like Masashi Kishimoto just made them do the fusion dance and created Sasuke, right? Like that's how he came. Like that's how he came with the idea. The red eyes, okay, the murdered clan.
Yeah.
The black hair and the stoicness. He's a literal combination.
Yeah, I've heard him be compared to Hiei a lot. So.
Well, yeah, because
I never, and I've never heard other people's opinions about it, but I was thinking upon watching, especially where the arcs where Kurapika was more prevalent, that his backstory did somewhat show similarities to Sasuke in a cool way.
Yeah, like completely. Like
I
his
mean,
entire clan was murdered for their eyes. Like their eyes were taken out. And like in a sense, that's why the Uchiha clan was murdered, because they had their discrepancies with the Hidden Leaf Village, because
it was a little more political than that.
Yeah,
but
a little more political, but it's all just scared of each other's power, basically, right?
Dude, real quick, I want to know your thoughts on this. Okay, this is a topic I bring up, and you might be able to argue it or agree with me. I think third Hokage is the worst Hokage because he appointed, not in power. I mean in ruling. He gave up some of the power of the Hokage to the elders, and then to the whoever controls the Anbu Black Ops, being Danzo in that.
Yeah.
And like everyone else did it themselves, and that he's the reason he's the first person to place power of the leaf into like untrustworthy hands.
Yes, that's fair, but also at the same time, like, can't you kind of commend him in a way for trying to do that? Going from being a dictator
Just
to a
progressing.
democracy, you know what I mean? Like, in a way, like, you got to think of it from that standpoint. Like, going from being, like, one man rules everything to, like, we are a village with multiple different viewpoints and multiple different people in it, and maybe it makes more sense to have, like, a council. Like,
okay, then I guess it's not a good thing to go off of, but then I guess you could just reduce that and say third Hokage is the worst judge of character. I guess that doesn't matter to anyone, but it really bothers me.
I mean, I get that, because you're right. He did do some things that said a whole bunch of bad stuff.
Anyone could have seen Danzo was corrupt as shit. Come on.
And I've been playing so much Shinobi Strikers lately, dude. So much. I mean, me and my friends have been grinding so hard, and like it's gotten me back in. Because like I fell off of Naruto hard after the pain fight. Like I fell off.
Oh really?
Yeah, hard. Like I have a lot of discrepancies.
Fourth grade knit. Oh,
like I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong. Like I would recommend it to anybody. I have almost nothing but great things to say about it. However, there are some glaring issues that like bother me, especially like when you don't find those issues in something like One Piece that has way more characters and way more stories, way more characters, and they rely on less.
Lay them issues on me.
Yeah. So like the Deus Ex Machina bad guy at the end, Kaguya. Like you couldn't.
Oh no, that's my biggest discrepancy with Naruto.
Like you couldn't just let it be Madara. And another thing is why is there only one decently written Uchiha? Why is Itachi the only Uchiha who's a good character? Like Obito pisses me off.
Sasuke literally doesn't make sense. It
doesn't at all.
Does it? You're just like bitch,
what?
What? Calm down. We just finished.
Yeah, Sasuke could have redeemed himself at one point in the story for me, but instead he did the exact opposite. His fight with Itachi. If after his fight with Itachi,
if that had been the turning point and no other going back,
yes,
fucking yeah.
Like if he had realized his brother's like, listen, I'm dying, and you need to know I did all of this to save you and to save that village, because that village is filled with people that I love and it needs to be safe. So I'm dying, and it's your job now. Save that village. And then Sasuke's like, you know what? Nah, fuck it. I'm not gonna do that. Give me 200 more episodes. Like that irked me to no end. Like, bro, your only family member just gave you his dying wish and explained everything to you, and you just yeeted it right out the window. You're like, nah.
Turn up. Are you a Star Wars fan?
Yes.
Did you see the new one?
I haven't seen it yet. No, I have not. I haven't seen Rise of Skywalker yet.
Oh, we'll talk about another time then, because Star Wars Kylo Ren is Sasuke in many ways. And it could have been done better in the same ways.
Oh no. Joy.
Yes, exactly.
Although I kind of saw that coming.
No other. I can't say anything else, but yeah. I think you're too smart. You already know what that means.
Yeah, I already know what it means. But to be fair, I already saw that coming. So like it's fun. Like I thought those writings were on the wall. Yeah. And like I think Naruto has like too big of a cast for how like it has like some of its Leaf Village characters, some of its side characters are more developed than any other side characters like in anything. But then some of its side characters are
Like
point like
Kurenai and
yeah,
like
Kurenai. First off, that swing that it flashes back to every time Naruto
more
talks
screen
about
time than Tenten.
more screen time than Tintin, bro. More screen time than Tintin. Like,
Preach.
like that stuff like that bothers me, especially like because I watched the dub of One Piece as well. So the dub of One Piece is only on episode 575.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
the
that it went that far. I
the
wouldn't
sub,
would be consider watching no, I know how far the
yeah,
sub is. I just didn't know the dub went that far. A lot of people told me
575,
that it didn't go that far. I'm interested in that.
and it's still getting it still gets new episodes.
Current
Yeah,
okay.
instead of doing it on a weekly basis like Naruto, it's like once every month and a half they drop 12 episodes, a whole DVD. So technically you get
Oh,
faster that way, but yeah. So
nice.
yeah, it's the most popular anime in the entire world,
Where you
definitely. So
watch it on Crunchyroll or VRV, Funimation?
there's a website I use to just
Kiss
stream it.
Anime.
Gang shit. So like yeah. Anyway, so
Oh,
what I like about One Piece is that I'm 575 episodes into One Piece, and like you are very hard pressed to find a plot hole in One Piece. Like when I say Oda like plans for everything, and he said that the reason why he's so good at this is because he started from the end and worked backwards, and that's how he does everything. Like from the beginning of an arc, he starts from the end and he works backwards. From the beginning of the story, he's known how One Piece was going to end since he wrote the first chapter, and then he has worked backwards from then. And it was supposed to only take 5 years, and here we are 20 years later. But it is in its apparently in its final 5 end. Like we are definitely an end game in One Piece, but it's still going to take 5 years. So probably around 1,400 episodes by the end, if I was to guess. And like
damn.
you could inject it straight into my veins, and I would not complain in the slightest.
Bro, this might be the episode that convinces me to start it. I didn't
What?
know there was that
Yeah,
much dub of it. Now
yeah.
I want to.
And
Now I'm truly. So I call my podcast the DweebCast because Mr. Satan's DweebCast because I like fully. I'm not an in depth. I consider you, no offense, not in a complimentary way, a weeb, right? I consider you like a high level weeb, like, but like I watch mostly dub, and I have watched only mostly shonen series. I've watched a few others and a few slice of life at this point too, but I it's a little bit less, but like a dubbed weeb, dweeb, that's where I came with
yeah,
that. So when anytime someone like preaches on a show and I've heard so much about it from so many people and then they're like, oh wait, you know that it was dubbed. I'm like, oh, why didn't you say with it?
yeah. Oh,
Why didn't you?
and so I love the dub for One Piece. Oh my god, I love it to its absolute core. Uh, Luffy is my favorite anime protagonist. I look forward to One Piece filler episodes because there's next to none. It's like 2 or 3 in between islands. Like there is, for how many episodes there are of One Piece, there is a surprisingly small amount of filler.
That makes it more intriguing. I was told there was more filler. Like I was told there was like entire like the like first like arc or two was filler or
What?
not.
No, the first
No,
like
like not the first, but like it like starts up and then it goes away to filler for a minute.
no,
No?
literally the first like all the way up until episode, they go straight through getting crew members and getting everything going and getting to the grand line in the first 60 episodes. Like there's like no filler. Like maybe one episode when they're on the boat in between islands, they're all BSing or something. But like other than that, it is straight through and through. There is one short 11 episode filler arc that happens. It's either right before or right when they get to the grand line. That's about dragons, but that wasn't even in the original run that was on TV. Like I didn't discover that arc till my third time through watching One Piece because it hadn't even been dubbed at that point. But yeah. So other than that, there's really no filler in the beginning, and after that, it's just a tad bit in between islands. But like when it comes to Naruto or Dragon Ball Z, there is way more
Don't.
filler in either of those
Hey, what
series.
about entire arcs from
Don't,
Bleach?
yeah,
Like
again, we're not even going to talk about filler arcs in Bleach, okay?
the Bounce
Because
arc? The fucking Bounce arc? Are you
you know what?
kidding?
Do you know what?
Fuck out here.
Another thing is like when did you watch Bleach when it aired on TV?
No. The only things I've watched airing week to week is, oh yeah. So I can't imagine. There's so many. When you think Naruto, which one do you think would have been the most frustrating week to week? Naruto or Bleach?
Oh, I can tell you for a fact Bleach, because I watched both of them week to week, and let me tell you about how Bleach went when it came dubbed to the States. Right? Let me explain
Please,
this cycle to you. Okay? Season
please.
1 starts. They make it all the way up to the Kenpachi Zaraki fight. That
Oh,
episode ends. Next
legend.
week happens. They start back at episode 1. I was like, what? Why? They make it all the way up to the Kenpachi Zaraki fight again, and then they go past it this time. They make it to the end of the Soul Society arc.
Yeah,
Next
yeah,
week
yeah.
rolls
On
around.
the
Next,
cliff
yeah.
and Byakuya Kuchiki, all that. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Next week rolls around.
Bound arc.
Nope. They go back and they start the beginning of the Soul Society arc.
No.
And I was like, what? They finally finished the
Well,
Soul
that was
Society
a
arc.
cool arc. That
Yeah.
was a cool arc.
Yeah, it's the
Get
best arc.
it
Like
again.
it's like their best arc.
Oh.
And then after that, the Bound arc came out. And then after the Bound arc came out, they went back and did the Soul Society one more time.
You know at the time that Bound arc wasn't canon?
No, I had no idea. I had no clue until all 35 or 40 episodes of the Bound arc were over, and everything Ichigo learned and did during that Bound arc had no effect on what happened next. Except for they kept the 2 little plushy things. They kept the weird little plushy figures. They just kept them around, but the rest of the Bound arc...
Yep.
Ah!
Yep.
And then they proceeded to do that after every major arc. It was arc, filler arc,
Yep.
arc, filler arc, arc, 2 filler arcs, arc, like... And the worst part is some of those filler arcs slap so hard, but they don't matter.
Oh, yeah, whenever the Zompex hoes manifest as people, that shit was hype, but also sucked in so many ways. It was so cool at times, but not all the way through cool. I can thoroughly say that because, like, I don't know, some people's like manifestations of their Zompex hoes was like, they were cool and it made sense. And, you know, I really like, and do you play Jump Force at all?
I just recently downloaded it, actually.
So Rukia's special, her final move, you actually see Soigetsu as a manifested person.
Yeah.
Like that's no one else kept their manifested Zanpakuto as part of any of their moveset.
Yeah.
I do not like Renji's manifested Zanpakuto the most. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make any fucking sense. Fuck off.
Yeah. And I always thought Renji's sword was so cool. Like, especially, like, his Shikai. Like, whenever he just had, like, I thought that was the coolest sword.
Yeah. It's fun. You know, someone whooped my ass with that in Jump Force yesterday. Just, that one is so, yeah. That, if someone's good with Renji, you got to go with range on them. You can't get near them because it's just like any 360 anywhere around him is just, you're fucking screwed.
Yeah, I haven't even played him yet, so I'll have to try him. So you're talking about you're big on dubs, right? Okay. So here's my dubs versus subs. Like, here's why I view these things the way that I do. Okay. Well, yes. I have watched plenty of series subbed. Okay. Like, I'm not like strictly on one side of the fence. However, the argument that subs is better is not something you should ever actually argue unless you are, and I mean 135% fluent in Japanese for multiple reasons. One, just because they're
shots
emotive,
fired, Zach
or
Dale.
just because they're emotive or they're yelling really loud, that doesn't mean that they're conveying emotion properly. Like as an actor, as somebody who has spent a lot of time on stage, who is like, I've done competitive acting. I went to state. I performed at Mizzou. It was a whole big thing. Like, as someone who spent a lot of their time acting, like, there is so much more. There's so much subtlety and nuance that goes into every performance. The cadence of people's voice, the way that they pronounce something specifically. Like, you cannot understand these things unless you are fluent in that language.
Yeah, you have to be not even just fluent in that language, but like surrounded by that language.
Like, you have to understand their culture. Like, sarcasm to us can be different.
The hesitation as you say a certain word, or the certain like emphasis you put on the beginning of a word, it can just mean a complete different thing in a different language, man.
There are so much subtle nuances to the way,
which we have those as well. We have those too. Don't just like, oh well, the English version sucks because it doesn't have. We have those too. You're just not. You're ignoring them because you're used to that. Quit.
And
playing.
There's some vocal performances today that just high and above. I will like there are some versions where like I highly prefer the dub over the sub. Like I love Attack on Titan. I can't stand Captain Levi's sub voice. I don't like it. I thought Eren
Goku's
did
sub
really
voice is
cool.
worst of all time, bro. What you talking about? It's a grandma.
I don't like his sub voice either, but I respect her because I've seen a video of that woman recording Goku, Gohan, and Goten's lines, having a conversation with each other without skipping a beat as the scene is going.
I want to see that.
Yeah, like
Send me that link.
I will
That
send
is
you
cool.
that link. It's like the most impressive thing I've ever seen a human being do. Like the
Wow.
woman is talented
Like,
above.
fuck South
Yeah,
Park. Look at this
yeah,
bitch.
like
bro.
literally, all three of them having a conversation with each other on a dime. She's just watching it and like reading the script and switching voices as they're talking to each other. It's
Eat
it's
shit, Family
incredible.
Guy.
Yeah,
That's
like
awesome.
that is like talent of all talent. I'm not a big fan of Luffy's sub voice either. Like I love Luffy's dub voice actor so much. Colleen Clinkenbeard. She directs the My Hero dub. Okay, she voices Yaoyorozu. She voices Urza in Fairy Tail. She's Hawkeye in Full Metal Alchemist. She's amazing. She's wonderful. She is in basically everything, and she has done such a good job at directing the performances in the My Hero dub. People who think the My Hero dub is bad are stupid. They are.
Oh, they're
dumb.
terrible. Dude, no, it's actually one of the better dubs. I
Oh
love.
my god, yes! One, everything Chris Sabat does is perfect. Okay, like Chris Sabat's one of the best voice
Which one's that?
He's All Might. And,
Oh yeah.
and Piccolo and Vegeta and Zoro in One Piece. He plays, I think it's like 28 characters into the Dragon Ball universe. Anyway, the point is everything Chris Sabat does is perfect. He kills it as All Might. Justin Briner as Deku is one of my favorite voice acting performances in a very long time. He himself, he's in so many series right now. He's blown up as a voice actor. Okay, like he's in Black Clover as Luck. He does awesome. He is in.
Dude, I want to talk to you about Black Clover because that's my favorite series currently.
I can see that because it's very, very much Magic Naruto.
I'm a huge Harry Potter fan and a huge Naruto fan.
Yeah.
Guess what series I like?
It's Magic Naruto. And you know what? I have a lot to say about Black Clover too because it catches way too much flack and it's awesome. I understand
circle back. Let's circle back. 1 second. Go with what you're saying.
Yeah. So anyway, I think it is rude and disrespectful to like one, just like dump on all the dub voice actors that like are out there working their heart out. Two, it is the reason why anime is so prevalent in the West. Okay, none of us were watching subbed Dragon Ball on Toonami. That wasn't a thing. None of us were watching subbed Pokemon or subbed Yu-Gi-Oh on Channel 11. No, we were watching it dubbed. They were 4Kids dubs, and they were really bad. But that's
really
fine.
Bad.
Okay?
They would even change the animation to make it more kid friendly. There's like one scene in like an OG One Piece episode where like there's like things being thrown and it's like supposed to be daggers, but it turns out to be like fruit or something, right?
Sanji smokes cigarettes, and throughout all of the 4Kids dub, he always has a lollipop in his mouth.
Yeah.
And his voice actor, he sounds like he's like from The Godfather. He's like, "Hey, it's me. It's Sanji." Like it's so bad. It is so bad that like watch 200 episodes of One Piece and then just go watch clips of what we call 4Kids One Piece is considered dub piece. Go watch the clip from dub piece and you'll just laugh hysterically at how bad it is. But like I just think that unless you're fluent in the language of Japanese, like you can't truly know if it's better. Because like we have a lot of cartoon voice actors, right? And our cartoon voice actors have a tendency to like ham it up. That's what you do when you're voicing a cartoon. You get over the top, you get ridiculous with it.
Yeah.
For all we know, that's exactly what they're doing in Japan, which is just what our voice actors are doing, but in our language. Like, you don't know. You have no idea. And, like, on top of that, anime is such a beautiful medium that has so many stories to tell that span genres and subjects that you couldn't even begin to fathom. Why gatekeep something so beautiful with something as stupid as you want to watch it in a language that you understand if you blink or turn your head? That's dumb.
Yeah, dude. You know what? I think dub viewers, some of the reason, like I prefer, I was watching Demon Slayer and sub originally, and then I heard they were doing dub, and I stopped. And then
Yeah.
now I'm caught up with the dub. The dub because like there's certain shows with such beautiful animation that you can't. I don't care how your fucking Sharingan works and you can read them both and do the same thing. Whatever, bro. What the fuck ever. I know whenever I hear it in my own language, I am more immersed in the show and more captivated. And I'm gonna be able to binge more episodes because I might be able to look at my phone for a second and whenever it's slowed down for younger audience viewing and for a certain parts it's slowed down, made a little more dramatic. You look at your phone a second. You can't you do that in a sub and you're just like,
Lost.
oh wait, what I miss? What did I miss?
And here's another thing. Okay, subtitles are bad. like the subtitles themselves are like generally bad. Like my issues with subs whenever I'm watching a subbed anime is I'm like, no one would ever say that sentence. That is not a sentence that any human being on the face of the planet, especially not a human being named Emma, would ever construct ever. Like those, it's like halfway a run-on sentence, but somehow not. I don't know how you did it, but
Right.
the point is,
It's not like beautiful, like eloquent written story or anything that you have.
no, like they always translate the subtitles weird, and I'm like, nobody talks like that. Like you're pulling me out of it even more than the fact that it's an anime is pulling me out of it. And that's like I like subtitles are so bad. Like, oh my god, like I have this meme. I'm gonna read off a couple of actual subtitles. Okay, there's like 3 of them on here, and these are real life subtitles from anime. Okay, and this is where it bugs me. Where are you at, Snapchat?
I saw this video that was posted the other day. I'll have to send you the link to it. This like how watching sub anime be, and it was someone like watching Naruto, and like it showed him like look at his phone for a second, look back up at the screen, and it was like Shippuden. And then he looks back down, and he looks back up, and it's like further and further into Naruto every time he looks away or gets distracted by the TV. It was really good.
Oh, I love that. Oh, come on. Where did it go? Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I've been watching anime for so long, and there's a couple of series that if you haven't seen, I would like to leave you with for next time.
Yes. Give me some
things I think you're going to find really, really interesting. God, I can't find this picture.
And before we go, I do want to talk about Black Clover again.
Yeah, we will talk about Black Clover. Have you ever seen Parasite the Maxim?
No, I think I have been recommended it once before, but not in depth or with context.
Okay, so Parasite the Maxim is one of, in my honest opinion, not just the best of the most previous decade, but the greatest of all time. It's only 24 episodes. It's the manga's from the 80s, okay? They waited a really long time to adapt it. It got adapted the same year that My Hero started, if I'm remembering properly. So like 2014, 2015. It is so deep, and the action in it is incredible. Like, I don't really want to spoil anything because it's one of those series that I think it's really best to go in blind because the themes that it tackles about humanity are...
Wait, 1 second. Is that the guy... I don't mean to interrupt. Is that the guy that like is like blind and like doesn't have any senses and gets his sense? He has like the sword arm thing. No, okay, sorry. Continue.
So he is basically the main character is just your normal average high school kid. His name is Shinichi. One night,
not what I was thinking.
Yeah, one night, this weird parasite burrows its way into his arm. It wakes him up out of a dead sleep, and he starts panicking as he sees it crawling through his skin. He cuts off the circulation in his arm in a panic, and then passes out from the pain. He wakes up the next morning, and he looks down, and like his arm is like fine, and he's like, okay, and he like rubs his eyes and looks down, and it's all like weird and deformed. He like freaks out and it like goes back to normal, and he's like, and then he's looking at his hand, and then like an eye grows on it, like a mouth, and it's like, like it's just full like gross. And he's like, like starts panicking because why is my hand doing this? Well, this thing starts to become intelligent. It starts to talk. It has a mind of its own, and its name is Migi. Well, he names it Migi. These
Okay.
parasites, okay, it's crazy intelligent. It starts to learn at a very, very rapid rate. These parasites appeared on Earth. Not from space. We're not sure where they're from, but they started
Okay.
taking over humans. All the other humans they took over, though, the parasite made it to the brain and was able to 100% take over the body. And then they started feasting on other humans to survive. However, Migi wasn't able to make it to Shinichi's brain because he cut off his circulation. So he just took over his right arm. And because of that, he's able to survive just off of what Shinichi eats. Together, they try to slay the other.
So his hands gotta eat shit to stay alive?
No, his hand can. No, his hand survives off of what he eats. Unlike the other parasites who are having to eat other humans.
Oh.
And so, because he can morph and like change his hand to like weapons and like these other things, like they go out to kill the other parasites. And that is a very bare bones, like least spoiler way I can tell you to watch this show. But
That's a good pitch. That's a good pitch.
When I tell you it is one of the most deep and easily one of the most philosophical anime ever made.
In only 24 episodes?
Yeah.
Is it mature or is it?
Oh God, yeah. It's like we're talking Hunter x Hunter levels of gore in basically every episode.
All right, I'm about it.
Like I wholly urge you to watch it, especially since it's still along those shonen genres, which is something that you're used to.
And it's current.
Yes. So watch that, okay? That is
pro.
one of 2 series I want you to watch. Now I'm going to throw you onto the other end of the spectrum with this other one, all right?
Hit me.
Have you ever heard of Erased?
I don't think so.
Okay,
might
well,
advertise. Is it dubbed, sub?
Yes, it's dubbed. It's only 12 episodes, okay?
Ooh.
Yes, you'll watch it in a day. Something you could probably watch with your wife, and she would wholeheartedly enjoy. I can promise you that. Any human being who watches this will enjoy it.
All right.
I'm giving you the very short, rough elevator pitch because much like Parasite, this is another one I believe it is best to go in on blind. Okay?
Right.
Our main character has this very rare ability. Every time something bad is about to, or sometimes when something bad is about to happen around him, he'll see a blue butterfly come and fly past his face. When that happens, he gets sent back in time 2 minutes, between 2 and 5 minutes. He has that amount of time to figure out what bad thing is going to happen and to stop it. Now, that seems like a pretty bonkers premise, but after what happens at the end of the first episode, it's like the entire rules of the world change, and it's going to blow your mind. And I promise you, you will probably just watch all 12 episodes straight through and through.
Oh, that's so cool.
The opposite, and it is very much a psychological thriller / mystery, but it will also make you feel things. Like I don't like you think you remember what it was like to be in 5th grade, to be a kid, that feeling. You don't remember that feeling. You're going to watch this show, you're going to remember that feeling for a very specific reason, because our main character is an adult. He is a grown man. Like he's an aspiring manga artist / pizza delivery guy. And he just has always had this weird ability. The animation in the show, every frame, every shot is breathtaking. It has one of the greatest OPs of all time. It slaps so unbelievably hard. Oof. So unbelievably hard, you will be jamming it for the next year. But if there are any 2 shows I would want you to watch for me so we can do this again, it would be Erased and Parasite. And the second you get them done, you tell me. We'll schedule any day. We'll do this again, and we will talk about it.
Hell yeah! I want to do it day of. I'm big on reaction, like, because you just be so, you feel it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Awesome.
100.
Dude, I totally. I the first one I'm gonna watch by myself probably, and then let the wife know she should watch it. But the second one, that's just a day off away from one of them just a nice day off.
Yeah, I promise you Erased your wife will like. Every human being who ever takes the time to sit down and watch Erased will fall in love with it. Like, I would stamp that. Like, again, that's another hill I'm willing to die on. Like, I wholeheartedly stand by that fact. It's one of the most amazing things I've ever witnessed. I love it.
That's awesome, dude. I can't wait. But can we go back to Black Clover before we go too on?
So,
all right.
Black Clover. I understand people's qualms. In the
Okay.
beginning, I understood people's qualms.
Because he yells.
Not even that. It's the fact that, like, especially me, who's seen, like I said, like over 250 anime series at this point, like, to me, like, it is, like, when I started watching the show, I even enjoyed it from episode 1, but I was like, this is the most cookie cutter shonen you could ever make. Like, that's what it is. This is a cookie cutter shonen. Like, it's like, here's a shonen template, we just copy, paste, we got Black Clover. But then around 30 episodes in, Black Clover realized we're a cookie cutter shonen series. What do we do about that? We become self-aware. We start to in the anime recognize what we are.
Break the fourth wall.
Yes, and that turns around and is what makes it so good. Like the part when Yami is being attacked by the entire Eye of the Midnight Sun by himself. And then all the other captains show up and he looks at him, he's like, seriously guys? We were just at the part in the show where my back's against the wall and I bash my limits. And then he show up and everything. Like those little things, subtleties that they started to point out to be like, yes, we know what we are and we embrace it. That is when Black Clover became great for me.
Yeah, I feel like adding that, becoming self-aware, made it to where they could catch you. That show, what I say continuously, it continuously catches me off guard. Not in like I can't believe that just happened. It's just like, that makes sense that happened, but I didn't see that was going to happen.
Yes, they execute on things very, very well in that show. And I'm super stoked. I know a time skip just happened in the manga, so like,
yeah, like, I can't believe that shit, dude. That's one of the few that that's one of the only ones that I watch sub of, because I can't even wait the like 3-week like gap in between the episodes.
Oh yeah, because there's 2 or 3 episodes. 2 or 3 episodes behind. I mean, like they like Black Clover still gets an episode every week. It's just like consistently 3 episodes behind. I remedy that because like I almost watched Demon Slayer sub, but I waited because I knew there was a dub coming. I knew for months that there was a dub.
The dub is so good. It's such a good dub.
I'm juggling so many series at this point that like the stuff that I don't have 30 episodes of to watch, like that's my saving grace. Like the fact that I only have to watch 1 episode of Black Clover every week makes me happy because I'm already binging all of these other things and like trying to keep up and keep my finger.
How do you think I feel not being an OG weeb, bro, and I'm trying to be relevant in this space?
You're playing catch up right now. Like you are playing catch up. Listen, from this point on, anytime you have me on here, I'm going to leave you with a minimum of 2 series that I want you to watch for next time.
I think that should be a staple. Hell yeah, that's a good idea.
I believe me, I'm never gonna run out of suggestions for you.
Oh, and they're catered towards what you think I would like specifically.
Yes. And I can also show you the entire spectrum that this medium has to offer.
I can show you the world.
Exactly. I'm Aladdin this shit right the fuck up. Like these two, like Erased is very different from all the other shonen stuff that you've seen. Parasite is different in a sense that it still has its action and whatnot, but it's also much deeper than pretty much anything you've seen and much more thought-provoking. Like, wholeheartedly thought-provoking. Like, you'll be thinking about humanity and society and the way we live as people when that 24th episode ends. Like, it's wild. It's bonkers, the effect that it's going to have. It's deep.
Okay.
It's great. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then, we'll start with those 2.
Yeah, don't give me too much because I honestly think that like I'm gonna I like to watch dubs also because I spend a lot of time editing these podcasts.
Everything I recommend you is going to be dubbed.
Yeah, but like Zach's gonna be so mad it wasn't him that did it, but I really might start One Piece because of your pitch on it. I really.
Listen. I promise you, by episode, I think it's around episode 30. Okay, so at the start of the show, you've never even started it, right?
No, I tried the 4 Kids one time on accident. I watched like half an episode. I was like, nope.
If you're on Kiss Anime, the one that says One Piece 2000, that's the 4 Kids. Don't do that one Go to the one that has 575 episodes. The 4Kids one
Gotcha.
has like 60. So
Gotcha.
yeah, don't do that.
And see, I think that's really what it was. I think that's what I saw, and I thought it didn't go further, and that's what's held me back from One Piece for probably 2 years.
575 episodes and still being worked on. All the movies get dubbed. Yeah, it's the biggest anime in the world.
And the new game looks so cool.
Oh, World Seeker?
Yeah, that game, the animation, it's beautiful. I really
And
it,
then
go ahead.
Pirate Warriors 4 is coming out soon, and that one's looking really, really good. I'm stoked for DBZ Kakarot, though. I've been following DBZ Kakarot for a minute.
But why? Because we have Dragon Ball games. At least Xenoverse had like a different plot.
Because of who's making it. Do you not understand the importance?
No, I get it.
The ultimate Ninja Storm team. It's the ultimate Ninja Storm people. And it's an open world RPG, complete with multiple different skill trees, complete with never before answered questions that we've never gotten in the series, written by Akira Toriyama himself. We get to see adult Goku go and do side quests for Android 8, who we haven't seen since original Dragon Ball. All of this side stuff, all of this world building, all the stuff that we never got to see in between the arcs. What's actually going on
that's a better sell.
That's
a better sell. Because right now it just looks like, play Dragon Ball, but in this animation now.
And
that's what it looks like.
Is like apparently when you go into the battles, like it doesn't take you to an arena. Like the map is your battlefield. Like there's no you're not gonna hit somebody so far that they hit an invisible wall. Like you're just gonna keep being able to bust them through stuff and stuff like that. I'm in it because we've gotten many Dragon Ball Z games. We have never gotten a Dragon Ball Z game that is an open world action RPG. I live for open world action RPGs. I live for them. I grew up on Final Fantasy. JRPGs, if you don't know what it is like to play an anime, play Final Fantasy. It's the closest thing you've ever played again. Literally, if you have you ever played any of the Final Fantasies?
My wife did, but it wasn't something I grew up on.
Well, most recently, Final Fantasy 15. It goes on sale every other month for $15. You ever want to play an anime?
But without the context of the other ones,
they're not chronological. They're all independent upon themselves. They're all their own self-contained universes with their own self-contained stories.
Oh, okay.
Final
I thought
Fantasy,
they connected.
Yes. No, God, no. There's 67 Final Fantasy games. My lord, that is a spider web that no human being should ever try to spin.
It's a J.R. Tolkien type.
Yeah, play Final Fantasy 15. It's got a very up-to-date modern combat system. It feels like it's the closest you're ever going to get to playing an anime. You have your 4 anime bros. You have all these crazy anime moments, the way you fight, the fluidity of it, the way the combat looks. It's all anime. You'll love it. I promise you. I bet no money on it.
Yo, real quick. Who's your go-to team Ninja Storm 4? Go.
Ninja Storm 4? Oh my god, I don't even own Ninja Storm 4. I haven't owned a Ninja Storm since 2. I've played it. I've played a lot of it. I go with my buddy Eric's house and we just play each other. But Minato. Always.
Okay, you're a big Minato fan? I am too. Yeah.
Yes, God, yes, he's so cool.
Bro, dude, real quick. So I just got married 3 weeks ago, and
congratulations on that.
Thanks. I'm getting ready to post the pictures. I'll put it up in this episode right here. But this picture. So we did after the ceremony. It was an outdoor eloping wedding, and after the ceremony, we gave each other gifts, right? And I gave her the Time Turner from Harry Potter, right? She's in school and stuff. There's a lot of meaning to it for us. She gave me the 4th Hokage's robe at my wedding, and I got to put it on over my suit and take a picture in the mountains.
That's so high.
Bro, I was you know how much of a legend that is? That is the coolest.
That's the coolest thing ever. That's dope. I've been wanting to for how long I've been such a huge anime fan. I never got into collectibles or anything actually getting stuff. So what really piqued my interest was last year for Christmas I got Jordan a crystal replica set of the Dragon Balls. Okay.
You did? That's awesome.
Actual size crystal
not
replica.
Those little ones.
They're they're Dragon Balls. Like
Oh,
I got him those for Christmas. And like I was like,
that's
oh,
awesome.
now I want those. I want those so bad. And then this
And now
year,
you want anime? Okay, go ahead.
yeah, this year my buddy got me here. 1 second, let
Oh,
me
I
show
can
you.
see it. I want to see the. Yeah, you got to bring that. I can tell what that is.
So this year my buddy got me this Luffy statue, right? And
So
it is so awesome. It's so detailed. You can see the scars on him. His ribs are bruised. Like it's my most favorite thing I own currently. And ever since he got that for me, like I've been wanting to go on a spree. I got a little chopper to sit next to him. Don't know if you know this. We have an entire anime store in Chesterfield, like an entire anime store ran by an anime old man who is officially my senpai. So yeah,
what?
like
I no.
I
What's it called?
It's been around for 9 years. It's called like Anime Grows something. I don't know. It's in like a strip mall, kind of by itself in Chesterfield, like right next to a Pilates studio. Anyway, the point is I went in there and like I'm talking to this man. He's like, yeah, I've been running the store for 9 years now. He's like, me and my wife used to review anime, and like that's kind of how we got into this. Is we like reviewed anime on top of our regular jobs, and
Life goals.
yeah.
Life goals.
And then they started this store, and they have like all these crazy collectibles and figures in there. Naruto statues that stand this tall, like Broly.
Oh well,
Legend of Broly.
I'm for real like going like this week. Then that's
Yeah,
fucked up.
no,
That's
totally. I'll get the exact name of it and link it to you after this.
that's
110%.
insane.
Yeah,
Oh,
guy who runs it is so cool. Like they have so much like merch and like so many like deep cuts. My all-time favorite anime is called Beck Mongolian Chop Squad. It is 26 episodes long, and it is
tell me
about
about.
music.
Yeah.
It's about music, and it's also widely considered the greatest dub ever made, for good reason.
Ooh, it's
In Japan, they
uh
dub over the
reward.
sub because
Oh
the
wow,
sub is broken English.
wow.
Two of the main characters are from Japan, are from New York. They're Japanese, but they were raised in New York, and then they come back to Japan, so their Japanese is bad. So all the
Oh,
characters speak
so it's
really
more
bad broken
fluent.
English.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
See,
more fluent as a dub series, and the music in it is top notch. They reference all of like the world's greats. There's references to John Lennon, Jimi Hendrix. The bassist for the band in the series is based off of Flea. Like the guitarist is
yo,
based on Jimmy Page.
yo. No, wait a second. Wait a second. You don't understand. I played bass throughout like school and everything. Like I played to the state and like he's the reason. Like I'm such a big. I'm read so much about the. I love Chili's and specifically Flea himself. That's insane.
Yeah,
I'm hyped now. You sold me, bro. Why you
yeah.
can't keep selling me on all this many? I'm gonna need to make a list
Yeah, but
while I'm editing this episode.
all three of these are so short though. Like all three of them
Right.
are so short.
Very attainable.
And yes,
Yes.
very, very much so. And like there is literally nothing on the face of the planet in my mind comes close to Beck. Like there's nothing that even like I won't even like look at anything. Like as a person who loves music so deeply, like
Same.
Neil Peart from Rush is what made me want to play the drums. Okay,
Okay.
my
So
uncle
yeah,
showed
that's how I
me.
feel for Flea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my uncle showed me the R30 Rush DVD when I was like 7 years old, and it made me want to pick up sticks. Beck made me want to be a musician. Beck made me feel like music can change the world. And
Ooh.
like it's
Is there any
incredible.
saxophone references or like any horn instruments in
No, not in Beck. Beck is actually, it's crazy because it's very much a product of its time. The manga went to serialization in the 90s, right? So, like, their band is like almost this, like, the band that they form is almost like this pseudo new metal / classic rock band because they have a vocalist. Their vocalist is voiced by Justin Cook, their main vocalist, who is Yusuke or Kirishima from My Hero.
Okay.
Yes. He's one of the vocalists, and his name's Chiba. He's like one of my favorite characters in the series because he's so ridiculous and he doesn't talk. He only knows how to yell, and like not like in an obnoxious way, just in like this really funny way.
Not
You'll
in an
understand.
Asa way.
Yeah, yeah, not in an Asta way. Yeah, like more in a like he's just always being over dramatic and ridiculous. But and then they have a second singer for their band who has like a really soft classic rock voice, and that's our main character. That's Koyuki, and he's not in the band at the start, and he doesn't even know how to play an instrument at the start. it kind of starts with, it's the first episode is called The View at 14. And it's kind of like that moment we all go through as a teenager where we're not depressed, we're not upset, but we're apathetic. We're like, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? Does any of this matter?
Preach.
Like, I'm in middle school and I have to be here every day, but it doesn't matter because it's middle school. Or I'm in high school and I have to be here every day, but it doesn't really matter because it's high school, you know? Like, that type of thing. And that's where it starts with our boy. But let me tell you, I have gotten Lucido and Jordan just so hooked on it.
Really?
Lucido's probably watched it 3 times now in the past year.
He's not even a big anime fan. That's crazy.
He is now.
Is he now too?
He asks me almost like at least once a month. I need a new list every single. Like, he's just asking me for recommendations. He trusts my opinion.
I could have Lucido as a guest. That's so great.
He trusts my opinion so wholeheartedly at this point. Like, I'll be like, watch this, and he just downloads or starts the series. Like, he just starts it. Like, he just doesn't question me. If I say watch it, he just does.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I've gotten hooked on. I've turned a lot of my friends into weebs. Like, it's something that I enjoy doing. Like, and there's some shows I just know will drag people in. There's some things I just know I can turn on. Like, very few people can watch the first episode of Attack on Titan and not want to watch the second episode of Attack on Titan. Like, you weren't captivated by that first episode?
The pacing is really not my thing.
Oh, but the pacing is so good in it. Maybe not the beginning of the first season. I'll give you that. Like,
the still shots.
But you shouldn't expect, like, it's kind of naive to expect the first season of any anime to have its pacing set in stone. The first season of My Hero's pacing is garbage. Like, the very few anime series start off with a solid pacing. However, you will be hard pressed to find a better, more well-crafted mystery than Attack on Titan. Because come season 3, we finally got answers, okay? Like, the end of season 3, we finally see what's in that cellar, okay? And, like, when you get that answer and you start lining up the dots, what makes you mad is there is no other answer. There is no other conclusion you could have come to. It's so perfectly crafted that this is the only logical answer, and I love it. And, man, when I tell you that the stakes get high in that show, like, I don't think you've ever even watched an anime that truly has stakes in it in comparison to Attack on Titan. Like, the closest for you would probably be Hunter. Like, there's no real stakes in Bleach or Dragon Ball or My Hero yet. Like, My Hero introduced stakes this season. Like, this season, things get incredibly real this season of My Hero.
Right.
But My Hero has been doing something so right. One, it didn't fall into most of, like, the big shonens fall into the same hole that Black Clover fell into, right? To where they go on to be an ongoing series as opposed to a true manga adaptation. They get an episode weekly instead of going by seasons.
Well, see, the manga from Black Clover is so much further ahead that they can just keep going.
Yes, but no matter what, regardless, eventually they are going to run into a part where they have to make filler.
Yeah.
That's what happens in the ongoing series. My Hero will never run into that because they're adapting in it seasonally, which makes it a true manga adaptation as opposed to an anime of a manga. It is an adaptation through and through, which is why it's got its fan base so, like, everyone's so stuck to it and so glued to it. And I love it so much because it has done character development. Oh my God, so well.
Oh, like, dude, the best.
Episode
Not
1,
the best, but it's up there.
When it comes to shonen, like, when it comes to, like, this format of shonen, the best. Like, it with the amount of time it's been allotted, I should say, right? Because, like, it doesn't have as large of a cast as, like, current Naruto or current One Piece or anything like that. So, like, you don't, it's not juggling as many characters. So the characters it is juggling right now, it's doing very, very well.
Naruto, and, you know, it's not just the only... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. All I'm saying is that, like, it's not just, like, it's main characters that are, like, developing. Like, every character you've met has pretty much changed from the first time you've met them, and I
But
love that.
the best part of it though is that, you know, a lot of shows, like I love Black Clover, but the character development is two-dimensional. It's from one stereotype to this one now. It's very plain and dry. My Hero has more,
Depth.
but yeah, absolutely more depth to it. I was trying to think of but yeah, depth.
Their
Absolutely.
changes, their changes seem
They're
to
learning. It's
actually
like when
be
an
a
AI like
product of their
starts to
environment.
learn
Yes. Like
in
their
those
changes
movies.
don't seem to be because the author's like, I want to change this character. They seem to be organic. Like it's actually they are changing. Like when Deku starts acting differently, you can point to what it is that made him act this way.
Right.
That's what I
Right.
liked. Like it's all
Gon
organic.
style, Hunter
Yes,
Hunter style.
Gon style. That's again. That's why I hold Hunter x Hunter in the highest.
Comparable protagonists if you want to draw those parallels.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's parallels, but they're not the same by any means.
They're not the same, but there are definitely parallels. But and you're always gonna find that, especially like when it comes to Togashi and Akira Toriyama. Like they're probably the two most drawn from in the shonen anime world, just period. Both of like Togashi has now two iconic series under his belt in the form of Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter. Like both of these shows are held in the highest regards. Like
considered just staples in
the medium. Like there are people that are like, you can hate all shonen anime and you are probably going to enjoy Hunter x Hunter. Like because it's written so well and it does its character work so unbelievably well that like you can forget that it's even a battle shonen sometimes. And that's what I love about it.
Absolutely.
And Meruem is like one of the greatest antagonists ever created. Just like one of the greatest
favorite side character though. Who's your favorite side character in Hunter x Hunter? Mine's Moro or Knuckles. I don't know. Probably Moro.
Moro and Knuckle were both so good. My favorite side character in Hunter is probably Kurapika.
I felt that you were gonna say that. I really did.
Like one, he's OP. Like his nin ability is like his special nin ability is that when his eyes turn scarlet, he's the only human being that can use 100% of all 5 nin types. Like LOL, right. GG, right? Like he's broken, but I love him.
Like, you have 6 paths eyes? Like, okay.
Yeah. Like he's wild, and I love just like his entire character arc and like the way he interacts with people. I just love Kurapika in general, but I also really like Leorio, especially because of the role he played. Like when he punches Jean, that's one of the best moments in the whole series.
Yes.
That's one of the best moments in all of Hunter x Hunter when he just wrecks Jean. Like I love that. And also we're like, oh, what's that? Leorio's got nin abilities. Like sprinkle that little thing on top there. Like he hasn't just been becoming a doctor. Like giving him that bit of depth and growth. Like I love that.
Absolutely. That especially later on, you know, so later on after you'd already written him off as a character, even, you know, you're like, wait, no, he still matters.
Yeah, you're like he at that point in time, you basically consider him comic relief. But then he pops up during that final arc, and he's not just comic relief. It's like Sokka at the end of Avatar: The Last Airbender. You know, eventually they matter. Eventually he's useful. He learns how to use a sword, and everything's fine. Like,
right. All right, dude. Well, we've been going for a while now. I want to do this again for sure because there's literally no reason to end other than it's a lot to edit.
Except for we're almost at 2 hours. Yeah, I completely feel you.
But I could do this at any time, man.
Yeah. Tell you what, the second you finish up those 2 series, okay?
I might have to come to you after I finish each one because we'll do an
episode over each. We'll do it. I think they are both worth an episode each. So you know what? An episode each. You let me know the second you finish that one, and I'll be right up here to do this again, dude. I loved this. This was a blast.
Hell yeah, dude. That was awesome. All right, now make sure to check out my dude on your radio show. I'm gonna be checking out. I'm gonna check out the back catalog and work my way through that because I'm highly interested.
Yeah, totally. And like you'll have to deal with like I don't script anything at all. So like I have a tendency to go on tangents, and then like because there's so much like there's interaction from like my fans and whatnot, because as I'm live they can like message. It's almost like a Twitch stream except for they can't see my face.
Oh,
Yeah. So they're like asking me questions and whatnot along the way and like asking me for recommendations, and I'm like interacting with them as I'm explaining like
that's
why
great.
that time
I
I
like
got
that.
reincarnated as a slime was one of the best series to come out in 2019, because it was.
Oh,
It's incredible.
oh,
That
oh,
time I got
wait.
reincarnated as a
Best? I like it because it was so different. But
best. Think of the
best?
message of that show, though. Our world needs it more than ever. Think about it. What is Rimuru doing with that village he's building? Because this is what I love about anime. Okay, it's like this underlying, on top of the comedy and the amazing action, this underlying theme that goes from the start all the way throughout that entire first season and will continue through this series. What it's teaching us is that like at first it's a village of goblins, right? And then
Right.
like and then the hobgoblins come around, and then there's the orcs, and then the lizard people, and slowly but surely they're all just coming into this society, and they're all building together, all because of Rimuru's like he's basically explaining that maybe if we didn't pay attention to walls and borders and barriers, and we all just understood that we have brains and we have complex thought and
We're just
emotion,
living
and
things,
tried to
you
get
know.
on that level with one another, we would all get along and we would be able to build this utopian society where all these races live in harmony, helping one another. It is a message of
It's a good
love.
point.
And it's something that I think this world needs the most. And out of new series, like not sequel series, new series that came out in 2019, yeah, it's
Uh-huh.
definitely among the best. Not the
Good point.
best.
It was completely new for 2019.
Yes. Completely
Oh,
new.
I because it's 2 seasons, right?
No, it's one.
Is it just
24
one?
episodes.
Oh, but it's a long season.
It's a
Okay,
long
okay.
season.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay,
It's split up into 2 arcs, but it's one
gotcha.
season.
All
All came
right.
out last year. Second season comes out this year.
Is
Um, uh,
second arc good? I only watched the first arc.
you only watched the first arc? Yes. Oh my god, the second arc gets nuts. Things are so
All right.
crazy by the end of that first season. Like I am so hype on season 2. Yes, there is a very, very great message. However, it wasn't my favorite anime of 2019. My favorite anime of 2019, which I don't want to completely cement as my favorite because it has one more episode. It's coming out on Friday, but it's called Stars Align. It is a 12
Ooh,
episode series. It is about a boys' soft tennis club, and it is one of the most amazing things I've ever watched in my entire life. And that's all I'm going to say about it because I want to finish it, but I will talk to you more about that next time because sports anime is going to be a little more down the route of series. I'm going to take you down with one of them next time I give you
thanks. I
recommendations.
haven't found. No, no. I really need that next episode because I haven't been. No one's been able to pitch me a good one, and I need a sports anime that I want to like.
Don't worry, I've already got them. Like I already have the pitches because I've pitched them to so many other people. We're gonna wait for you to watch those, and then we'll get
Okay.
back together. All right?
All right,
I
man.
appreciate you having me. Seriously, this was a blast. We
Thanks,
have
man. Hell yeah. And I'll be hitting you up literally like tomorrow or the next day to play some Shinobi fucking Striker. Okay.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, thanks, man. I'm gonna end the recording, so just stay on 1 second.